Young and the Restless spoilers full episode Monday, revealing the pain that Sharon may have to face before Faith's death. She is still unconscious after the accident. Can Faith keep her life? Currently, Sharon's health is still not good. She is still trying to stay calm, although the obsession from Cameron Kirsten is gradually invading her mind. Every night, the nightmare about Cameron keeps appearing, but Sharon always denies seeing him while awake. When Faith Newman asked her mother why she seemed worried, Sharon lied that it was just an unimportant dream. But Faith did not completely believe. That night, when Sharon entered Faith's room to say goodnight, she felt the distance in her daughter's eyes. Faith then received a text message from Lucy Romalotti. Lucy admitted that she was in trouble, but Faith was still unsure whether to tell her mother or not. When Faith mentions Lucy to Sharon, she tries to refuse to help to avoid worrying her mother further. Sharon, sensing something is wrong, encourages Faith to go help her friend. Faith arrives at the park and finds Lucy drunk, slumped over on a bench. Lucy, in a drunken stupor, confesses that she stole a bottle of wine from the bar and begs Faith not to tell her parents about it. Faith, though worried, agrees to take Lucy home without telling anyone. On the way home, while Faith tries to drive carefully to avoid any danger, the car suddenly loses control and skids off the road, crashing into a nearby wall. Faith and Lucy are both knocked unconscious. Shortly after, Sharon receives an urgent call from the hospital informing her that Faith has been in an accident. Panic is evident on Sharon's face as she rushes out of the house, not having time to say a word to anyone else. Meanwhile, at Society, Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Heather Stevens are talking about the problems Lucy is facing. Both are worried about their daughter's future, but neither expects a real nightmare to happen. Heather's phone suddenly rings, and when she answers it, a feeling of dread washes over her. The news of the accident has left them both reeling. Meanwhile, at GCAC, Jack Abbott and Kyle Abbott are trying to repair their damaged father-daughter relationship. Jack wants to help his son through his difficulties, but Kyle, still heartbroken over what happened, thinks it's best for both of them to avoid each other. However, when Summer Newman runs into them near the exit after a date with Chance Chancellor, she mentions her willingness to renegotiate their joint custody agreement. This brings Kyle some relief, but the tension remains. At Crimson Lights, Nick Newman notices Phyllis Summers looking upset and tries to comfort her. Phyllis opens up about her past mistakes and her desire to make things right for Summer. Nick, with patience, listens and asks Phyllis to stay out of Summer's life unless her daughter really needs her. Suddenly, Sharon calls to inform her about Faith's accident. The news makes Nick unable to contain his emotions. He immediately rushes out of the cafe, leaving Phyllis and Jack shocked and worried about Faith's condition. They both hope that Faith will be okay, as Nick and Sharon have already gone through too much loss. At the hospital, Sharon and Nick meet Heather and Daniel. Neither of them expected that their daughters would be together in the car that crashed. The paramedics confirm that Faith and Lucy were both found unconscious after the car skidded off the road and crashed into a wall. Sharon, unable to bear the weight, rushes into the emergency room to see Faith. The image of her beloved daughter still lying unconscious with scratches on her face made Sharon unable to hold back her tears. Nick stood by her side, trying to stay calm, but the worry was evident on his face. Beside her, Daniel and Heather quickly ran to Lucy's side. Fortunately, Lucy was not as badly injured as Faith, but the worry about her condition still could not ease the fear in her parents' hearts. At Faith's hospital bed, Sharon continued to cry silently, blaming herself for not recognizing the warning signs earlier. Nick, standing by her side, held Faith's hand tightly, praying for his daughter to recover quickly. As for Lucy, although not seriously injured, she was still lying unconscious, making Heather and Daniel unable to stop worrying. Everyone hoped that both girls would recover quickly, but in their hearts, each of them struggled with their own thoughts and emotions. Faith's situation is heating up the Yonder storyline, which isn't good for Shan's mental state right now, so we're bringing you predictions on how she'll deteriorate further. Subscribe to Yonder, the place to find out what's interesting.